My name is Abby. I'm from Hyde Park and I make jewelry, and I'm also an education major at UIC. Both of my parents are educators, and I've always really liked teaching people how to do things, especially since one of my friends, Noah Wilson, he was a big teacher for me in improving my art, and he passed away last year. So his death really pushed me to want to share that love of teaching and sharing art even more. Right now I'm taking all my intro art classes, so it's I'm really excited because I especially really want to teach painting and other things related to art, because I feel like schools don't focus on how you can have a career in art. Ever since I was really little, I liked watching people make clay things, especially. So I've always wanted to really sell my art since I was really young. But now, my sophomore year, I was mainly focusing on selling paintings, and I eventually kind of found Trinky Dinks and went from there. And then eventually it kind of led me down to try and make more pieces. And it would be for my friends for their birthdays or Christmas gifts, and then people would see it and be like, oh, that's really cool, where'd you get that for them? Because I want one too. And I'll be like, oh, I made it. And they're like, okay, I'm buying it off of you then. So it's just kind of this whole big thing. It was a cycle, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll sell my stuff. I was always a really shy person, which is really funny to talk about now. But yeah, I would always just kind of keep to myself, sell my artwork kind of on the down low. So putting myself out there, it was a whole new experience. So I feel this brand has definitely helped me grow as a person and grow artistically, but mainly as a person, because it was just kind of a lot of learning on how to talk to people, because I was just really bad at it as a kid, and it just kind of shut me down. And involving myself in politics and clubs, and eventually finding this passion for teaching other people, it was just kind of okay, well, if you want to do this, you kind of have to put yourself out there. And I didn't push myself off the deep end immediately. It was kind of just a lot of baby steps. It's really crazy to think about, just okay, see, if you didn't kind of work on this, you probably wouldn't be paying for college, or being able to donate to groups you support, or just being able to fund your art in general. So it's look at how far you've come. Even though looking back on some interactions, you just oh my god, I can't believe I wouldn't talk to people.
What's something that pushes you to keep coming up with fun, funky, and unique jewelry?
Mainly my own kind of anime. I really like anime and just animated shows in general. My friends are really supportive. They always are whenever I'm feeling burnt down, they're oh, you should do this, or oh, you should do this. And then especially my dad, he's kind of helping me a lot with my Christmas stuff, because I always feel super burnt out around Christmas time, because I feel because of capitalism, it's just very commercialized. There's this set ideal of Christmas. So it's kind of well, I feel I can't really put myself in that box. But my dad, he really loves holidays, so he's always giving me ideas, and I've got a lot of fun little things, and just a little bit of nostalgia with Charlie Brown and stuff. So that's kind of a lot of help. My mom, she's an immigrant from Korea, but my dad, his parents were immigrants, but he was raised in California, so they both come from that immigrant household. But I imagine that them being able to see me kind of pursue this American dream almost is a lot of driving force for them too. This is one of my first paintings I've done in a year, because I stopped painting for a little bit to work on my business. But it really feels really nice to go back into painting, especially since it kind of made me realize oh, if I want to teach a class, definitely want to be painting, because I feel you can do so much with painting. You could paint your little baby, my baby. I'll bring him out later. But also you can just express yourself a little bit differently in a way that you understand, maybe other people don't, but other people do get it. I don't have a set plan on where I want it to be. I've been able to sell my stuff in kind of some smaller retail stores, so Wolf Bay, and recently I've sent my stuff to Arizona at K Collective. So that was a really big move for me, but I do want to do some more clothing. I want to do metal pieces. My first metal piece is I ordered the samples for those, so I'm very excited for that. Just a lot more clothes, but also I also want to sell more of like my artwork in general. So I've been working on a lot of fan art stuff because I really like looking at like art from comic conventions and like seeing all like the different styles, but like your favorite character is drawn like an artisty like style, and it's like, wow, that's cool. So it's like a lot of that. Like I just kind of want to like do whatever and then see where that takes me.
This final question I've got for you: what advice would you give to someone trying to do what you do?
Oh, that's a good question. I always feel so stumped when I get this because I feel like mine was kind of like dumb luck in a way, because it was like I never really put myself out there, but yeah, it's like the best advice I can give to someone. Just like if you're not very social, to like kind of like push yourself to be more social, because you get to meet more people, but also you're able to like talk about your art a little bit more, and it's just like a nice feeling to be able to talk about it, and especially be more open about the kind of work you create, especially since like I didn't really talk about it, so now it's just like, wow, like you can get really far just by like, you know, being more social. And I know that's not a super easy thing for everyone. It really wasn't an easy thing for me, but I feel like pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone does help a lot. So I do the art in Photoshop or Procreate. It kind of just depends on where I am. If I'm at home, I'll do it on Photoshop, and if I'm at like school or just kind of out, I'll do it on Procreate. So pretty much, okay, that's what this design is going to work. But pretty much, I like to just kind of like go with whatever I think just kind of makes me happy. Ignore that.
It's alright.
I think it's my neighbor. So pretty much what I'll do is go in, and then I'll take whatever the design and I'll go into Illustrator and basically go from there. So pretty much it's just kind of like this whole big like experiment. And the issue I have with like certain programs is that they always don't give you the they don't always give you the measurements, so you kind of have to like try and like hope you don't waste good acrylic. But yeah, so I'm gonna turn the machine on. The machine kind of gets a little loud, but basically right now I'm gonna choose like for acrylic I'm gonna use this one. It's like all these like fun little stars on it. And basically what I do is I basically just pop it in, and it has a camera up top. And I'm gonna turn this on with the filter. Pretty much. Basically, this is just a laser cutter, so it can cut through like acrylic and wood, and then if you engrave on like metal, you can't cut metal, unfortunately. But see if it wants to like work any slower, but it usually works faster than this. It's camera shy. So right now it's basically just kind of like it was definitely like one of the biggest things that I've ever invested in, especially since I got it like towards the middle, kind of like end of my senior year, so it was like, oh shit, this is kind of a really big deal. So now I'm just gonna like center it a little bit, and for earrings, maybe 2 of them. Patience more than once, especially since I kind of have to like teach myself how to use these things, because I'm like, okay, well I want to do it, but I just gotta make sure I know how to. So, do you want to hit the button?
Sure.
So it'll take 5 minutes to cut, and it'll like get like it's like engraving it. So basically right now it'll just engrave the design. It engraves first and then cuts. And basically, just give it a second to cool down a bit. Now, like, take it and pop them out really quickly. I like to take Gorilla Tape and just kind of like slap it on there and like peel it off, because a lot of the pieces I do sometimes have like a lot of detail, so it's like, here, let me get it. So basically what I do, like, basically just kind of like press down, make sure like all the acrylic is kind of like the film is on there. Sometimes it takes like a little bit because they kind of like fuse to each other in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But like once you get like a little bit of a, once you get like a little bit off, it all just kind of comes off. You gotta do it in like multiple parts. And there you go. You got your magical little frog guy here.
Oh, that's all right.
And he's got some like fun little funky stars. What do you think about the brand? It's about the brand.
I'm very proud of her.